Hey everybody, yeah, it's Friday afternoon. As you can see, I'm inside again. It's a cold day out there today. We had a earlier, in the year, I'd say a cool front came through. This was a cold front. Went from the 60s yesterday. It's in the 40s. There's at least a 30-mile-an-hour wind, if not stronger. Straight out of the northwest. I mean, it is cold today. They say it's in the 40s, but the wind chill, I'm sure, is in the teens or something. So I didn't even decide to go out today. I'm going to do might be the last one from the a local or from an Iowa brewery. I've done a few of theirs. Haven't been impressed super so far. I did kind of like their Orange Scorpion. I did with a buddy of mine. I actually have another bottle of that. I haven't been so impressed so far, but the CIB Brewery, I guess CIB stands for Chefs in Black. I talked to them a bit a couple summers ago at the beer fest in Des Moines. My subscriber Andy invited me up too. So anyway, there's nothing about this beer on the website. Apparently, it was a one-off beer. So a little bit about the brewery. It says CIB Brewery is a small batch, production-only nano brewery located in Carson, Iowa. CIB is a farmhouse style brewery. This means all of our beers are fermented using proprietary yeast blends, including Brettanomyces, Lactobacillus, and other wild yeast. Although Lactobacillus is not a yeast, but the end result of this brewing process is that all of our ales will be somewhat sweet and tart on the palate and be uniquely flavorful. All of our wild yeasts are harvested and cultured in the brewery in Carson, Iowa. There's no, since there's nothing about the beer, there's no ABV on the website, nothing on the bottle. I went to Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, and I think Beer Advocate's got one review of it, and Rate Beer wasn't too kind, but they have several, but neither one of them. So I called the number on the website and I talked to somebody. He said, "Well, I'm in a really bad cell phone area, so if I drop out," he said, "call me back in a few minutes." But we managed to talk long enough. He told me this is 7.2%. But like I said, they call it a barrel-aged Imperial Wild Ale. I wouldn't really consider 7.2%. Yeah, maybe getting close to the Imperial category, but not really. But as you could maybe see from the initial picture, there was a ton of wax on this. So hopefully I got enough off to get the cap off. But let's get this a little bit of a hiss. Yeah, it's coming. Hopefully I don't get any wax in the beer or in the bottle. A little bit of a hiss, no smoke. Let's get this barrel-aged Imperial Wild Ale in a glass and see what we have. Okay, we got a kind of a slightly hazy amber color, maybe a finger of a nice creamy, slightly off-white head, almost white. I'm getting some smell on it now, so let me get an up-close smell. Okay, there's some light funk and a light fruitiness. There's some floral notes maybe there, a little bit of oakiness. They didn't say what kind of barrels, it just says barrel aged. So they don't say what kind of barrels or even for how long. There's really nothing on the bottle about it. But maybe it's like some sour cherries and just a little bit of like damp cardboard. You know, like if you've maybe got your basement flooded and there's some cardboard that got wet, that's what you smell. But definitely going to be a sour beer, that's for sure. And he asked me if I like sour beers, and I said sure. I said I love that the Boulevard Love Childs that I had. So Not a lot here. It's there, but you can tell it's going to be sour. So let's get a taste on it. Okay, yeah, there's some like some tart, earthy raspberries, definitely some a barnyard funk, a little bit of a light fruitiness that kind of makes you pucker a little bit. It's mildly acidic. Got some earthiness to it, and some funk with some almost vegetal notes like canned green beans or something like that. Not super pleasant, but it's not off-putting at the same time. It's pretty mild sour though. You got a kind of a washed out sour cherry and berry flavors, and a light sweet biscuity malt. Medium light bodied, fairly mild low carbonation. Not super strong, but you know, nothing really objectionable yet. So let me sip on this a while. I'll come back in a while with the final thoughts and grade. Okay, I'm back. It's been 20 minutes or so. I've been sipping on this. It's okay. It's a decent drinkable sour. It might be a really nice introductory sour to somebody who's never had one, but it's kind of one note. You got those, like I said, kind of washed out sour cherry and berry notes in there, and just a little bit of that sweet, lightly sweet malt base in the background. Nothing really that objectionable to it. I went back while I was taking my break. I went back and I read some of the reviews on Rate Beer. They because they weren't very kind at all. I think they gave it a 6 overall in the style, and 6 out of 100, or 6 overall. They gave it a 0 in the style. But there were some. They must have had it fresh. I think he said this was like 2 years old now, so it's been out 2 years, so it's got some age on it, and had some time to work, and that helps a lot, I think. But you know, they were saying things like you know, rotten meat and sour hot dogs and just all kinds of you know, really, you know, garbage and Band-Aids and everything else. I'm getting none of that, but I'm not getting a whole lot of complexity and flavor here either. It's, like I said, fairly one note. I like my sours with a lot more complexity. That's still that Boulevard Love Child number 4 has got to be one of the best American sours I've ever had, but anyway, it's okay. There's nothing all that objectionable. It's a good drinking beer. It's definitely not a drain pour or anything, but it's just kind of a weak sour. The flavors are there, but they're not very strong, and there aren't very many of them. And what they are is pretty, like I said, pretty one note. They're not really well blended, but decent. I wish the brewery all the best. You know, startup brewery in small town Iowa. Just, you know, there's got to be a lot working against you doing that, but so I wish them all the best. And so far I haven't really been super impressed with their beers, other than that Orange Scorpion, which was pretty decent for a chili beer. So I'm going to give the Barley's Angels barrel-aged Imperial Wild Ale from the CIB Brewery here in Iowa. I'm going to give it a good 6.5 out of 10. It's okay. It's drinkable. But definitely nothing special, so till next time everybody, cheers. Let's keep drinking good beers.